Resolution setting forth the procedure for minutes and recordings of council meeting, whereas MCA 2-3-212 governs the procedure to be followed in preparation of meetings of town council meetings and public inspection thereof. Whereas pursuant to MCA 2-3-212, the town of Fromberg has determined the following procedure applicable in preparing the minutes of town council meetings. The town clerk will prepare written minutes of each meeting, which shall reflect the following: the date, time, and place of meeting, list of individual members of the town and mayor in attendance, the substance of all matters proposed, discussed, or decided, and the request of any council meeting member, a record of votes by individual council members for any votes taken. Whereas the clerk will also record the minutes on video or audio tape to assist in the preparation of unofficial meetings, minutes written of each meeting. Whereas the town council has determined that recordings of council meetings are not designated as official, but only as a memory aid for the clerk to follow in preparing the written minutes of the council meeting. The tape recordings are not available to the public for inspection as an official record of the meetings. Town council designates the written minutes as the official record available to the public for inspection. Be it resolved by the town council of the town of Fromberg, in accordance with the requirements set forth in MCA 2-3-212, the town of Fromberg will follow the above procedure in memorializing the council minutes and making the written minutes available to the public upon request. You have any questions, council?
Curious, any comments?
Okay.
I make a motion we approve resolution 494.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve resolution 494. All in favor?
Aye.
Going on to zoning. We have an application zoning permit for Cheryl Cox. And I believe you have your information in the packet, along with the drawings for application and a composite of where she wants to put her house and on her property at on East River Street, 409 East River Street. They have purchased that home, was it last year? Yeah. And so they've been busy trying to demolish the old one and get that property cleaned up so they can put a new house on there. So is there any discussion, council?
Now, the current house that's on her now has a concrete foundation around it.
Right.
And they're gonna set this other one right on that foundation. Is that-
No, that's all gonna go away.
The concrete's gonna go away.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
We were gonna build a home on it, but we were gonna build a timber frame home, but my husband passed away.
Oh,
Sorry, 6 weeks ago. So I might lose it here. Hopefully not. Anyway, so now that's what I'd like to do.
Which house is this?
Buckley?
Randall's old place. The
Buckley?
blue one.
it was Buckley's
blue
old
one.
house, yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty far gone.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
But you're just gonna take it out and put a new one in. It's gonna be a brand new one,
Yep, brand new.
shiny and all.
Yep. Not really what I want, but I'm living in a fifth wheel, so and I have a contractor, he's ready to go.
And I'm thinking that from everything that we read on this, the foundation that's gonna, that they put around it is approved as a foundation.
Yes.
I know it comes with paperwork for that. Is there any way maybe we can get a copy of that?
Copy of what?
The paperwork for that foundation to put with this?
I thought I
There's
did
a-
that.
I've got a copy right here, Tim,
You got a copy there?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
says
I've got
permanent
a copy
foundation
in the
systems
other looking
for manufactured homes.
Right, and that's,
I think that's kind of similar to the one we looked at last year, isn't it?
at.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and those are approved now by HUD and
Right,
everything, so they're a good solid foundation.
I don't see a
Yeah,
problem.
No, it needs, what's check for?
Yeah,
Well, there shouldn't be any problem with it then, right? I make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve a permit for Cheryl Cox to bring in a new home at 409 East River. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
thanks for the complete application.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very nice. We have another application. I call them building permits, they call them zoning permits, but Mark at Apex Motor wants to put an addition on his building off of Highway 310. And you said it already has a concrete slab.
Yeah, it used to be a car wash many years ago.
Okay, okay.
There's not much in our commercial section, it matches everything it should, so I don't see a reason why it doesn't pass.
And he also has a very accurate composite drawing here, so.
And I don't think he's going above the 70-foot height.
No, not that high.
Pretty good. I make a motion we approve Mark Vargas's zoning.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the Mark Rice zoning permit. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We do have, maybe we don't. The town did get a letter from a company that's coming in to reclaim some of the old mining area south of town, southwest of town. And evidently, they wanted to, a rancher out that direction lost a calf in one of those holes, sinkholes. So they're going to come in and reclaim that mining, and the correspondence was just to let us know that they were gonna be coming in and getting that taken care of. Okay, public comment.
Good.
Mighty Mo Mark.
The junkyard at the end of Third, what's the status on that? It seems to be up and down. More crap there, less crap, you can barely get in.
The burn pile.
No, the Turley's property, or,
We're gonna have
I
to.
mean, I talked to Josh,
No,
and there's supposed to be,
I can, there's a
Right,
trial
what we
scheduled.
need to
Oh,
do
okay,
is,
sweet.
yeah,
Okay,
we
cool.
need to serve him again.
No,
Okay.
no, there's a trial scheduled for next week.
Oh, is there?
On that
Okay,
matter.
all right,
okay,
good.
cool.
So
Because
Just curious,
that
that seems
just
like it
gets,
takes
I mean,
forever.
It does, it does.
It gets cleaned up, I just looked at that the other day and took pictures and everything else, and
Yeah,
it gets cleaned up a little bit, and then it starts, and now there's a motor home on there.
And that's a huge blind spot.
It is,
Huge blind
it is. I
spot.
almost got hit head on turning onto Third Street last week with that motor home there.
It's being addressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I just didn't realize it took this long.
No, it's, it does.
okay,
the deputies
Yeah.
go up again.
yeah.
I've been there a few times.
Jerry, did you have a comment?
I noticed a lot of pictures when they were digging, fixing the hole down here, the pipeline, of no cages and stuff, and everybody's comments and stuff, and you got, I think they better get a
was
cage.
brought up at previous councils
Yeah.
before. I don't remember them bringing it up at any of the council meetings that I was at,
Yeah.
but, yes, and we are in the process of getting a coffin to make sure that we have the proper procedural
Right.
equipment to be in a hole. And I
Right.
discussed that with Jeremy and Jay when they were down there digging that hole.
Yeah, I just see pictures all
At
over
length,
Facebook.
because that was one of my concerns too, and I just can't, it's against OSHA regulations.
Right,
Anyway, and we could really get dinged for something like that. So we are in the process of getting that taken care of, so when it comes next spring and they need to dig a hole, they have some protection when they get down in that hole. So, and they're not that horribly costly, so I'm not sure what the concern was of not getting one earlier, but.
yeah.
Any other comment?
Where are we at with the water down to the Tomahawk?
The water at the Tomahawk, and I stopped with, and talked to Mr. Perkins yesterday, confirmed it with one of our council members, and yes, she did put in a well. It was tested by the state. I talked to Forrest, and he said if they are within the 500-foot setback of the city services, they can put in a well. And so the DEQ was there, they tested the water, evidently state contractors were there, her contractor was there, the water was tested. She's getting potable water at 50 to 60 gallons a minute, and it is good water. They went below bedrock about 35 feet, and so I guess they're good to go as far as the state and
We
everybody
could
else
look
is
into their
concerned.
water.
So I don't know, I'm sorry.
Bill had a comment.
I said
Oh.
maybe we could hook into their water and get some potable water.
Can you make coffee with it?
According to the testing and stuff, it is
Better than mine.
pretty pure, so,
Yeah.
I like the water.
yeah, I don't have fun. So, any thoughts?
How far is that house from the main on Harlan?
It's about 600 and some odd feet.
See, the only time they're required to hook up to city
When
water
they're
is if it's
within 100
within, no, 300
300
is
feet.
the way the ordinance reads.
Yeah. And it's almost 300 feet to her property line where her property begins. And then it's another at least 250 feet from her property line to the house.
So
So,
the
I
city of
just-
Fromberg doesn't have any ordinances against people using a well for,
As long as it's.
as long as it's within the
if
ordinance.
city services aren't available within 300 feet
Right.
of the property.
Yes, she's good to go.
So all in all, she's got good water. She's done what she needs to do. She saved her some money, saved us some money. And as far as I can tell legally, she's good to go.
okay.
Yeah, because now the business runs off ours, and she's got hers.
Yeah, so,
Okay, and probably the next question, since that's taken care of, where are we at with the sewer over on Lover's Lane?
That got pushed back due to the incident on Third, or the consequences of that trailer being moved out. We had started, actually starting that project, and then the homeowner confronted me and said there were some liability issues, so I wanted to make sure we were correct on our end. So I stopped that day, did research, she did research, and then she called me back the next day and gave me permission that she realized she misunderstood some information given to her.
yeah.
And that I have the right, and the town has the right to do whatever we need to do on that street.
Right.
She believed this inspection
State
needed
inspector.
had to come in, and
And
inspect
the
it.
lawyer for the state,
but
League of City and Towns, Kelly Lynch, says absolutely not. She has a licensed plumber coming in to do the work on her property, and the state is satisfied with the sign off of a licensed plumber. And then from there, we can go do what we
Yeah,
need
so
to
it's
do.
good to go, like I said, and then just the trailer being removed and it got crazy.
Okay.
But I'm
So
hopefully
it's on
this,
the, probably the next major thing you guys are.
yeah, exactly. Cause
Right.
I've got all the materials and everything on hand, and that's why
And you're gonna bring it from the fence line up to,
I'm just a little bit off the road and then all the way up to the corner. Everything
where it's
underneath that,
currently at right now?
yeah,
Mhm.
Okay,
it'll be insulated.
okay. good.
Anywhere there'll be traffic.
And where that dip is, we're gonna put some backfill under it, so it'll level it out a little bit.
And then that
we'll
fill
insulate it.
material down there's just to build it up for now, and then I've got
Right,
plans for, get better rock on there, of course.
Okay,
on the road, you mean?
Yeah.
Next year, yeah.
okay.
And I've spoken with the neighbors in that, anyway, the homeowner's actually really happy because traffic can't go through there anymore. So, but I just put it on site instead of hauling it and wasted the time from the river to there,
Right.
or where I could have stockpiled it, so I put it on site.
Well, there's not that much traffic on that road anyway, so.
So, yeah, that's,
Do we still have our fall cleanup scheduled for, what, the 13th?
Next week, 11th and 12th,
11th, 12th,
Friday and
13th?
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you can find that stuff under the snow.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Well, it
it's
shouldn't last too long. We probably won't get anywhere close to 4 inches.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Me
We're
too.
talking 4,
4 to 8,
6, and
10,
2.
yeah. 10 in Red Lodge.
8 to,
8 to 12, isn't it, I think?
It's 8 to 12
Well, Red
here.
Lodge
they had
always,
3
Accumulation.
It's gonna
models.
be
I
50
know.
in 3 days after.
But
Worst case scenario,
Ground long.
18
yeah.
inches.
South and west of us and north of us always gets a whole lot more than we do. We're kind of like in that little protected area, so. I don't like that word either, but
It's like
we're
400 words.
in Montana, so. Any other discussion? Next meeting date, oh, go ahead.
One thing I would like to comment on before we get done with this meeting is, I'd like to thank our city employees for the jobs they do. You know, Jeremy gets out there and he busts his rear to get the job done. I appreciate that.
thank you.
Yes,
And Jan in the office,
it's overloaded, but boy, she,
she gets things done too.
and there are times when she is here, sometimes 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, even after a full day. And she does not charge us overtime for that, which is wrong. She cannot do that. And I have talked to her about that several times.
I'd also like to thank the sheriff's department for a job well done. You know, I think personally, knock on wood, crime in this town has gone down. You don't hear about it anymore. But then again, you never know when you're gonna see a deputy. You know, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, and one's cruising the streets.
They go up and down my street quite often when they're around. I've seen them go up and down the alleys and everything, so.
Yeah.
I think they carry a better intimidation factor.
There you go.
That's not what we wanna hear.
I'd just like to thank them for a job well done.
Yes, and that is from all of the people in town and the council. And I don't have it right in my packet, but Hope has submitted her letter of resignation effective December 31st. So we will be scouring the country for new legal advice.
And have you put anything in the papers yet?
We will, as soon as Jen gets back, and we'll run it consecutively through December. And I have a couple of letters drafted, but I just haven't gotten them really yet, so.
Okay.
Shirley, I
yes.
forgot to add something.
Oh, good, go ahead.
When they had those signatures for us getting a grant or whatever it was
Uh-huh.
over here,
Uh-huh.
you need to put something in that post office, because the only reason I found out is I went in to check the mail, and she says, you need to go sign that paper. There was nothing over there.
I
Saying-
think the suggestion was not to put it on the board over there, because sometimes when we put things on the board, they disappear.
But that was very important, I thought.
Yes, it was. Yeah, Pam,
That was one of the things I'm really rather disappointed about. When it comes to something like that, and it comes to our money being put out, it needs to, this last minute deal doesn't get it, and last minute trying to get public support. I mean, really, that should have had 140, 200 signatures on it. You should have had some letters in there. I mean, first of all, I guess if you look at the deal, my question to everybody is, do you take $10,000 to Vegas and put it down with a 25% chance of winning? Your own money. So if you don't want to do the backup and get the public support and advertise and get the public involved so they write the letters, it doesn't do us much good.
well, those sheets for signatures were brought by Chad. We were going with what he had already developed. We did have a public meeting on that whole situation. We have been approved by TSEP for grant funds to cover the cost of the town's initial cost for the PER. And so we are standing at a pretty good point to get this grant. And it's been such a hurry because I didn't talk to the grant writers and Chad until June. So we've had to really move fast to get all of this information into the committee, get it all filled out, have the signatures, everything done in order to get that grant submitted by September. And we had to have it done by the 30th of September. And that's why some of that stuff, although it was important, and I agree with you, but was not done. So,
What I don't agree is that that money is wasted.
I'm not saying it's
Well,
wasted, but it's,
Vegas gives you the impression that we threw that money out the window when we didn't. Right?
no, what I'm trying to make is it's a math fact. If you take four people in the county applying for that grant, your chances of being selected as one is 25%.
But that's not the only grant that we can get.
But then, if you take it on down farther on the line, it poses a deal. What I'm saying is when you put the money out there, you want more backup. And it's, when people don't know about it and stuff, it creates a problem that you have put this money out there without the advertising, without the push to get the people signed up, to get the public support. Had it not been for word of mouth, a lot of people, like Jerry said, I know I sent probably 10 to 15 people over to sign it. My question was the day that I walked in afterwards, how many more people have come by to sign it? It was 3 of us that had attended the meeting, nobody else. And that's my disappointment in the deal. If this grant is hinging on public support, like Mr. Hanson had said,
well, that's only
No, I don't
part of
think
it.
that's-
It doesn't
that's-
hinge on public
Yeah,
support.
I don't think that's a yay or a nay on the public support end, but it would, yes. We would hope to have more in that regard, you're right. But it doesn't mean we won't get it either.
Any other questions, discussion? Okay, the next meeting date is what, November 4th?
I believe that's,
Looks like the 4th.
Okay, next meeting date, I believe is November 4th. 7 o'clock. And we will go into executive session at this point. So, yes, and we're discussing litigation with Ms.
Something good.
Okay, so,
Is there a fee for that permit? Oh,
not yet.
Now you're doing us a favor, making the town better.
Thank you.
I hope so.